Hey guys, thank you so much for watching. Today we are putting on a brand new Vego greenhouse cover for this bed. We had a cover prior. If you watching my videos, I just took it off of the bed, and that cover was perfect for protecting your plants from pests. It was perfect shield for um, too much sun, and it also helped with a little bit of frost protection as well. But this new cover, is a greenhouse cover. So it is going to protect your plants just like a greenhouse would. It will help protect them from frost, pests, heavy like weather damage, so like hail, heavy rainstorms, things like that. So I'm looking forward to adding it to this bed. This will extend my garden season probably through February going into March through spring, I'm guessing. So let's go ahead and get this put on the bed. Then I will finally get my seedlings planted. Okay, so we've got the greenhouse cover on, and it was pretty simple because we already had the frame installed. So it's just a matter of putting the cover on and then using all of the ties and Velcro to hold it on. But what I love about this already is that it does have the flaps here to release air. So like, hang on, to let out the heat during the day, especially um, right now, like we're having cold nights and then warm afternoons. So you've got the option to open it up, to just open the flaps on the side if you want. There's one there to have a cross breeze. With the greenhouse, I really like the material that it's made out of. I feel like this material here and just everything about this, the stitching, it feels so secure. And I'm gonna give you another example because I have a greenhouse right here that I use, and this material feel totally different. So this feels very thin. um, this feels thicker than that. And then also the stitching on this is really good. Down here at this greenhouse, I've had this bust open, the stitching here. And just in comparison, because I still like this greenhouse and still will use it, I don't have any issues other than, the split down there. But just feeling this material here, I can tell that it is a much higher quality than that right there. So now that we've got the greenhouse on, let's go ahead and plant some of our seedlings in here. These seedlings needed to be planted uh, probably last month. They could have been good to plant. So we've had a lot going on, so I haven't been able to really get to it other than just watering it. So let's plant them in. That way they can root in before we really start seeing cold temperatures. So we've got a lot of seedlings in here. They are unlabeled. I do know what many of them are, so I will try and give you that information as I am planting. But I did start these seeds in the Vego seed starting trays. Look at that. It's got like one seedling in there. But yeah, so I started in the Vego seed starting trays. Some of these I started outdoors in the greenhouse, and then others I started indoors. And then I think this is the tray that I started indoors and then moved out to the greenhouse over here. And then now we're ready to plant them in. So let's go ahead and get started. I think I'm gonna start on this back area here, and then we're gonna work our way to the front. I'm not gonna plant everything in this bed because there are some things that I do want to be planted in other beds around the garden for like a winter crop. But you know, it makes sense to just plant them all in here because I'll have the extra protection. But some things like kale can handle frost, so I'm not afraid of it being out there. And look, there's already some flies in here, so I'm gonna close that other side up, and then hopefully it'll keep some of the bugs out of here while I'm working. Look at this. I wonder if this is one of the red wigglers that I had in this bed last year. Hi, buddy. You can go back in there. So I've got celery right here that I'm going to plant this way. And I've already added extra soil and fertilizer, compost to this bed. So I'm just going to make a hole, pop my celery out, nice and root it, over root it. Let me do that, see if that helps. And then pop it right in here. And put another right next to it. We've got our bed all planted. I ended up planting like basically everything. There were plenty of plants that just weren't doing well. So I just kind of like broke them up and left the soil pods in here to compost down. But all in all, it's stuffed, but I think it's going to be perfectly fine. I'm happy with it. So I'm going to water it, and then that'll be it. I'll water it and then I'll close it up, and I'll actually leave the vents open. But I'm excited. Let's go get this bed watered. So it's been about 2 weeks since we planted this bed together, and I will say that everything is looking a lot better, looking a little bit more upright and less weary than when we first planted it. We have been having some issues out here with not cabbage moths, but with slugs, and the slugs were probably already in the soil. We do have some, I call them roly-polies, that have been eating some plants in here as well. So as the season cools down, this kind of pest pressure will go away, and once it does go away, then the plants will really begin to take off, and we'll be able to have those nice big leafy greens that we love. But yeah, it's kind of hard to fight slugs. There are things that you can do. You can do beer traps. I believe there's something else. I don't remember what it is. I think it involves salt, but I wouldn't just throw salt in the soil. I have to look that one up. But the plants themselves are doing really good. My cilantro went to seed, some of it, and that is just because I had it sitting around for so long before being planted. But you can still harvest it even with it going to seed. The flavor just might not be as intense. But other than that, like, this bed is good. I have not watered it since making the video, and the soil is still pretty moist in here. I am going to water it today. And then I've been keeping the vents open because the mornings are chilly, but the days are hot. So I've been keeping the vents open to allow airflow in there and keep the plants just happy. We've got a lot of mushrooms popping up. Mushrooms are a sign of good soil. So if you see mushrooms in your soil, even in your house plants, like, it's unsightly sometimes, but that's a good sign. So just know that you can always, remove them. It might not remove everything just because I believe they travel through spores or whatnot. So it's hard to remove it once it's there, but you can just kind of, these ones kind of burn up as the day goes on, but other mushrooms, you can kind of just remove them on your own. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Let me know if you have any questions about anything that you saw today, and I will leave all the links for you in the description, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Happy gardening, happy fall. Bye.